Hello, my precious darlings, and welcome back to another video. And this one is gay. It is gay as hell. They're lesbians, Harold. This is a vlog for women who love women, and also people who love reading about women who love spooky shit. I have here 6 underrated queer horror books, 3 of which are available on Kindle Unlimited, if that is your jam, or your jelly, or whatever you spread on your bread. The first book that I am going to talk about is Sawtooth by Steph Nelson. Sawtooth is about a lesbian who has lost her partner. Like, she's dead, she's bit the big one, and this lady is on her way up a mountain to scatter her ashes somewhere she loved. But it gets a little tricky. It gets a little difficult because this mountain is also home to a big fat monster that wants to eat her, and not in the fun way. This book is a great mashup of grief horror with monster action horror, which is something that I have not really seen before. And I don't know why, because it's two great tastes that taste great together. Maybe I too would get over my grief if a sawtoothed monster chased me down a mountain. Maybe I too would emotionally process. But this has never happened. My therapist has never chased me down a mountain, nor do they have saw teeth. Moving on. The next book on my list is Residents of Honeysuckle Cottage by Elizabeth Davidson. I'm pretty sure I got this rec from Mother Horror. I haven't seen this one talked about a lot, but this is folk horror. This is, you know, you're a woman and you're married to your wife, and your wife is like, let's move to the country and buy a creepy old house and live in a town where everybody acts really weird and none of the residents talk to us. And also something's up with the cat. This is a slow burn. It's slow, ominous, creeping dread. If you need a break after the adrenaline rush of being chased down a mountain by a sawtoothed monster, then you ease into this and ride the wave of creepy, the wave of badness, and the miasma of slow, ominous dread, creeping sounds in the night. Really weird people who want to talk to you or don't want to talk to you. And you can't decide which one is worse. Those are the hallmarks of folk horror. I really enjoyed this one, but it doesn't get a lot of hype. And so I am here to bring that hype. It's also one of the ones on Kindle Unlimited. Say hi to the cat, everybody. The next book on my list is This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. This one is also on KU. This one is about a woman, and she hasn't talked to her mother in years. Like, things are bad. Things are like they are icky. The vibes are off. And so she hasn't talked to her mother for years, but her mother shows back into her life and is like, hi, baby. You want to go on a trip to an isolated cabin? Just the two of us? Where there's no cell coverage? And for some reason, she's like, yeah, I really should go on this trip with my mom. But I'm going to say, some people were like, why would she go on the trip? The whole book is off for me. But I'm going to say, if you have ever encountered narcissistic abuse from a mom, from a family figure, you know exactly why she goes. Because she wants so bad to believe her mother has changed. So they go up there on this trip, even though her girlfriend is like, do not go, baby, no, baby, come back. And they go on this trip anyway. And of course they get snowed in. And things go from bad to worse. To tell you how they get worse is too much of a spoiler, because this is short. This is a novella. This is a frigid blood icicle. Tiny, short, sharp. And I loved it. I loved this book. I still think about it, and I read it a couple of years ago. This is probably my second favorite of all of these recommendations. Next, we have Cruel Angels Past Sundown by Haley Piper. This one is not on KU, but it is cheap. I think it's like US $6.99. So it's a novella. It's from the Splatter Western series. I don't read a lot of splatter punk, and I don't read a lot of extreme horror. But why, you say? And the answer is because they're not gay enough, or because I get bored by gore. I'm sorry, sometimes I'm a little bit of a gore hound, but mostly I am not. Anyway, this is a splatter Western. So you've got this woman, and she is living out in the prairie with her husband, and it's a good life. You know, they get along, they love each other. Even if sometimes they come to town and share a bed with another woman, and she may be more into that bed with the other woman than she is into the bed with her husband. But that's okay, right? Like everybody does that. Everybody, it's the old West. Everybody's having threesomes and being more into the girl than the guy, right? Yeah, that's what they did back then. But one night, this woman shows up at their farm, and this woman is naked, heavily pregnant, and dragging a saber behind her. Shit goes bad. But then, just when the lady thinks it can't get worse, just when she thinks that naked pregnant women with sabers are the worst that she's going to encounter that night, a preacher shows up, or a man dressed like a preacher, and somehow he is even worse. So what choice does she have but to flee to town and find her badass gunslinger girlfriend to save the day? This book is so weird. Like, this sounds like it's just going to be a weird, gory fight in the Old West, but this is actually cosmic religious horror, and it was so weird. It was so great. And it was so fun. It was so fun. A lot of religious horror is too serious for me, but this is fun. This is wacky. Things get wackadoodle. And I love it because it also has some great rep. Like, this has other forms of queer rep. And I thought the villains were actually scary, which you don't always find in horror. This one, okay, I will say that the preacher reminded me a little bit of The Night of the Hunter. But other than that, great book. It's fun, it's fast, and it's highly original. I am going to check out other books in the Splatter Western series just based on Cruel Angels Past Sundown. The last book on our list is the only one that is actually a full-size book. All the rest of these are novellas or something like novellas. And this book is The Red Tree by Caitlin R. Kiernan. And it is my favorite book on the list. This is about a woman who has broken up with her girlfriend. And she's a writer. And she moves in to this old house with a tree in the front yard. But something is wrong with that tree. And in the house, she finds some old letters, some strange letters about mysterious things that happen around that tree. And then another woman moves in with her. And then things get really weird. This book is almost indescribable, but I'm going to try and describe it anyway and do a terrible job. This book is quiet cosmic. This is a book about strange and mysterious forces and how they shape us, how they bend us out of shape and bend us into new ones, and how we don't recognize ourselves in the mirror anymore, how we find ourselves waking up at midnight, hearing strange voices, and we keep wanting to walk to the tree, but the path to the tree every day changes. Some days it gets longer and longer, and some days hours seem to pass as minutes there. This book has House of Leaves vibes. It is nothing like House of Leaves, but it has House of Leaves vibes. It is quiet and quiet. It is quietly weird. And it is very adult. And this book wants you to be smart. Like you need to be smart. You need to be paying attention to what is going on. You need to be using the old noggin. But this book is beautiful. This book means a lot to me. Caitlin R. Kiernan doesn't get a lot of hype on BookTube, but their books are some of the OG lesbian horror. This is Caitlin R. Kiernan's been keeping it real for the queers for a long time. And I'd love to see their books get more hype. All right, so that's going to wrap up this installment of underrated queer horror. If you'd like to see more in these series, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if I am missing books. Let me know. Send me your recommendations because this is one of my favorite types of horror. Please send me your recs for more queer horror. I can't get enough of it. Send me your gays. Send me your theys. Send me all of your queer, weird books. I love them. They are keeping me living through this dark time. And I love to show these books a little hype, a little bit of woohoo. I've never made that sound before in my life, and I hope I never make it again. Still getting used to the whole talking to the camera thing. Anyway, please like, comment if you feel like it. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more about queer horror, and I will see you again.